other stations are tuned in too.
K.L.P. Aftermath. Swanky. With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Happy Monday, ATL. Welcome back to another exciting radio show here today. It is a wonderful Monday. This is the K.L.P. Aftermath Season 5. Guys, we are back from NYC. Welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, right? We've got T up in the studio, Monica, she's here, Addison and Arthur, they're here with their reports today. And we're back in the studio, y'all. Of course, Swanky Studios, to give y'all another exciting, and I do mean this, another exciting podcast here today. I'm excited because, number one, we're back in the studio, and we've got some things that we need to talk about here on our shows as well. It's Monday. It's a brand new start to the week. Hopefully, you guys are ready for this exciting new week that we have going on, because I know I am. Coming back and starting back up with business. Of course, one thing we did announce today, of course, that we're going to announce it now, but it's been back. SNN is back. SNN is a news network that we've, started years ago, and then we brought it back, and then we took a break. And then we brought it back. So again, hopefully you guys are liking SNN with the news, where when it comes to Beatrice, Gemma, Addison, Arthur, our correspondents here at K.L.P. Entertainment, they're doing some dope stuff when it comes down to it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to give out more news. Arthur Brooks, he has our sports news for today, but he's going to be covering the NCAA softball season. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge softball person. I like softball. Just because, you're watching softball, and it kind of reminds me of baseball. Yes, we did watch the baseball season, and I used to play baseball. Obviously, I was an athlete. I played baseball years ago, but I covered it, with baseball. I played it. So when you're watching softball, it's like you're watching a different version of the sport that you played, but is for our women. And of course, I'm seeing a lot of softball games, and they're going really impactful for this season. So obviously, yes, we are going to cover softball season this season when it comes to SNN with Arthur Brooks. So I can't wait. Thank you, Arthur. You're always doing your thing there. Welcome back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are back from New York City. I'm not going to go in details about how the trip was. You can go listen to the podcast. It's K.L.P. Aftermath live from NYC. That podcast was very, very fun to do. Over on the rooftops of New York City, we explained there what we did over at the city of New York City. So we're not going to go so much in detail about how the trip was, because you just got to go back and listen to that podcast. And then you guys are going to know when the documentary goes out. Yes, production or post-production for the documentary has started. We're putting the clips together, putting scenes together, putting interviews together. And it's fun, right? It's very, very fun for that as well. So again, back for NYC, it was a trip of the ages. It was a great, great trip. I really enjoyed that trip. Speaking of filming, we announced yesterday, K.L.P. Entertainment and myself, we announced yesterday that it is true. It's not a rumor. Yes, we are producing our first noir film. I'm excited. We've got the characters ready, the acting, voice acting, that is going to be an animation as normal. But from the guys that made Eden Prime, which Eden Prime, go watch it right now on Amazon Prime Video. I'm excited for this noir film. Of course, we're going to start production this summer of this film, and it's going to be very impactful, and it's going to be a noir film. And that's all I'm gonna say, because we early, T. Can't say too much about it. We so early when it comes down to this movie, in the process, in the script writing, and then the animation planning. Everything is being planned right now, but for the summer, yes, we're going to be in production of a noir film for later this year. Cannot wait. Now, Yeah, I didn't want to come on the show to babble about K.L.P Entertainment because we've got a lot of topics we've got to get through here today on today's podcast. But as always, if you're enjoying the video thus far, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching the video version of this podcast. And if you're listening to all of major audio platforms, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Audacity, Stitcher Podcast, and so much more. Thank you guys so much for that because, our numbers have been going really, really well when it comes to our podcast, right? Radio and podcasting has been our number one thing here at K.L.P Entertainment thus far, and you guys are really doing it really well for sure. Now, this is the season where we're coming back from Valentine's Day. I'm always gonna joke and say a fake holiday. I think it's fake. I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, but if you did, happy belated Valentine's Day. Uh, Obviously, I'm saying it now. It's been a couple days since Valentine's Day, but obviously we were in New York on Valentine's Day. But a lot of people, one thing I've noticed on Valentine's Day, when it comes down to going to New York, and they probably have the same thing here in Atlanta too, but in New York, because that's where we were on Valentine's Day, a lot of flower shops. Believe it or not, a lot of flower shops were in business. They made money on Valentine's Day because everywhere we turned in New York, a lot of people were buying flowers for their loved ones, right? I kind of feel bad for the people buying these $10 flowers that's probably going to be dead, will probably died within the first couple of hours of buying the flowers. Except if you go to Floral Haven XO, my sister Deamber Patterson's businesses. If you're in the Savannah area, you guys can order your flowers, your premium flowers for a good price. And those flowers are not going to die on you, right? But that's Floral Haven for you. That's the good quality of Floral Haven XO. Deamber Patterson, her business, her floral business. Because when you're buying those type of flowers, those flowers are going to last you for a while. But in New York, I see a lot of people buying these $10, $20 flower arrangements, and they probably died within the next couple of hours that they bought it. But that's something I've seen on Valentine's Day, right in New York, people buying flowers for their loved ones. And I get it, right? I get it. But that's one of the things that it happens, right? A lot of people are buying flowers. They're buying things for their loved ones. So like I say, I'm not really big spirit on Valentine's Day, but it was good to see people buying things for their loved ones. And even in New York, because we went to Gornaco, if I pronounce the name right, it's an Italian spot. And of course, couples pulled up to the restaurant. They're dressing nice. She's carrying a bouquet of flowers. He's like, yeah, I got her some flowers, and then I got something very special planned for her tonight. So a lot of things has happened when it came down to it. So then that's why I say it's a great season. It's a great time because in February usually there are a lot of shows. Now we do have a lot of shows, right? We've got The Last of Us that's on right now, and about time you're hearing the podcast, it was probably going to be what I think Wednesday's the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. The next season of Bel Air comes. Now, if you guys don't know, Bel Air is a series that is available right now on Peacock. We did a review of season 1 in a previous podcast, but I'm excited for the next season because thank God this show didn't get canceled. Thank God they didn't replace Vivian Banks. There was a skeptical story that Paula Patton was going to play Vivian Banks. I think that was a dumb decision. It's good to see all the characters coming back coming back to the swing of things. They're coming back for season 2. I cannot wait to see more of Will Smith, the character Will's character be developed into this second season of Bel Air. I'm a huge fan of Bel Air. I've rewatched the first season previously so I can get geared up for this second season. I'm excited, right? And this is briefly why I can't really review season 2 because season 2 is not here yet. But when season 2 comes out, obviously we're going to write about it in our magazine, Element Magazine by K.L.P Entertainment, by the way. You guys can read that over at issue.com. And I can't wait to review it and give you guys a full review on the podcast show. I cannot wait for that. Again, you got Jabari Banks coming back. Coco Jones is coming back. Akira Akbar is coming back. Ali Shalutin's coming back. Cassandra Freeman's coming back. Adrian Holmes is coming. Everybody is coming back for season 2. I'm super stoked about it. Now, if you guys have Peacock, if you're able to get Peacock, add another subscription to your bill list, or if you want to finesse a password from somebody, check out Bel Air. Season 1, get caught up before season 2 comes out. I enjoy the show. I'm always going to be a fan of this because I know when the show first came out, everybody, believe it or not, everybody gave a gripe about it because they thought this was going to be the funny sitcom, the 1990s sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel Air. No, this is kind of the origin of is surrounding the sitcom, but it's a more darker version of this show. I love it. I'm here for it. I here for the dark version of these sitcoms. I think they need to make a darker version of Martin, a darker version of Full House. Like I would love to see a kind of the same story, but kind of with a twist compel within what we all knew and loved as a child in our childhood. So that's why I'm a fan of it because it is a darker version of Bel Air, of Will, of the Banks family, right? I get very, very excited about that. So season 2 is coming. I cannot wait. I don't care what people say. Some people may not like it. I'm going to enjoy it because it is a season to remember. And hopefully they didn't change too much when it comes down to these seasons. Because typically season 1, and it's the curse, right, Monica? Shout out to you, Monica. It not just shout out for you, baby. But every show that becomes a success comes to success when their first 3 seasons, and then they start falling off. Right? We've seen that time and time again with a lot of shows. Given point, one favorite show of mine, Empire. Right? Empire had so many seasons. The first 3 to 4 seasons were good, and then they fell off. They started making some crazy seasons. Right? The same thing with some anime shows that I've watched. It's the same thing with a lot of things that are on HBO Max, causing them to be canceled. So I don't want Bel Air to fall into the train of, okay, we did a good season 1, let's try season 2, and let's say season 4 falls off and they get canceled, right? Every show has that curse. I think the only show that I watched I genuinely enjoy was Power, right? Power from Stars, because I feel like in Power every season has been good. Now I'm a little bit behind on my Power because I know after Power they have the Power Book 2, and there's 50 Cent's doing a lot of spinoff shows from Power. I got to get caught up with those shows. I just have There's just so many shows. I just never really watched this one, but it is a show that I feel Power, the first show, Power, each season was better, right? So they didn't fall into that curse. But there's a lot of shows that fall into the curse where first 3 seasons are good and then the rest of the seasons are trash. So I just hope Bel Air doesn't fall into that. I'm rooting for the cast and crew member of that show. And I can't wait to see how the story unfolds even further with Will. So that's my take on it. Season 2 is coming February 23rd. They're not a sponsor. If Peacock wants to sponsor me, then you can. But not a sponsor. But guys, go get ready for season 2. Now, we did a formal review, and I say we, but I mean Beatrice Gamma. She's not in the studio today. It's Sunday. She has her day off. She did a review on Hogwarts Legacy, and I wanted to do kind of a quick synopsis review of the game, and then I'm gonna just leave it alone, right? Um, this is not a full review. If you want a full review, go to our other video that we uploaded about 2 days ago. It's SNN from February something 10th. I can't remember. We gave our full review of Hardworks Legacy. Beatrice Gamma gave her full review. It's good. A lot. And there was a comment that I saw on that video. Harry Prophet Potter is what that user has said. Now I know a lot of people been griping about the game and what J.K. Rowling said and all of that. We're not gonna go into that in this show. We're gonna talk about how good this game is, because regardless, this game is good. Now, I played a few hours of the game, and I genuinely enjoyed the story. I've made my character. My character is going through the school, right? The academy, the Wizardry Academy. And I'm going to sound like a noob right now because I've watched the first 2 Harry Potter movies, but I haven't followed up with it. And I did watch both of the Fantastic Beasts movies. The first one was better than the second one. Hopefully the third one won't fall off. But yes, I am not a huge Harry Potter fan. But yes, I bought the game. I played the game. I enjoyed the game. I was telling a lot of friends because we went to dinner, and I'm gonna do a review of where we because the other night we went to dinner, and I'm gonna give a review of the spot we went to later on in today's show. But I was telling some friends, Hogwarts Legacy. If you got a PlayStation 5, you got $70 to spare, buy the game because you're gonna enjoy this game. This to me, this game is fun, right? I'm muting out all of the controversial things that people are saying about J.K. Rowling, right? And her political views, her transgender views. I'm blocking all of that out for this game because my way is saying, as a creative, right? I haven't worked on video games, but I worked in films, right? So I root for creators who worked on projects like this game. I'm rooting for the game directors, the animators, the engineers, the sound mixers, the sculptors, the voice actors. I'm rooting for the people that actually worked on this game because this is their career, right? When you make a game and your game gets bad reviews and it's not good, then it's really impactful for a lot of creatives, right? When they go and find more work, they're going to say, what did you work on? Oh, you worked on that game? I'm sorry. We're going to go to another candidate. And then that's how they're putting food on their table. It's the same thing with film people. Me as a director, we've got animators, voice actors, engineers, sound makers, sound engineer. With production, if a movie doesn't sell well, then they're not getting bonuses. They're not getting paid right. And that's how they put food on their tables, how the way they pay their bills to some people, right? That's just how I feel about it. So it's just one of those things that, a lot of people, and I've said this multiple times about this game. A lot of people, we have to stop bringing politics into gaming community. Well, in the gaming and film community. I think I talked about this on the Beyond Swinky podcast, but we've got to stop bringing that stuff into the gaming and filming and music industry. We have to, right? Because it's becoming oversaturated with that. And then a lot of people are thinking twice about this community. And I really hate that for us. Um, so like I say, I played the game. I enjoyed the game. I like the character development. I like the voice acting. I like what we're doing in this video game. In my opinion, this game is different, right? We've played a lot of shoot 'em ups. We played a lot of third person adventure type platformers. This game has those elements, but with a twist, I feel. So I played the game. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. No game is really perfect that I played. Maybe God of War. Ragnarok might be 10 out of 10. But 9 out of 10 for this game because of what you're doing. You're exploring the Harry Potter wizardry world, right? You're exploring that stuff out. And this game is in good condition with 60 frames per second. I'm always going to be a fan of 60 frames per second. Gotham Knights, Warner Brothers, what y'all doing with that? Because that game should have been way over 60 frames per second, but we ain't going to talk about Gotham Knights. But I enjoy 60 frames per second, T. I really do. I enjoy that with a passion. So like I say, Hogwarts Legacy, I got to give it a 9 out of 10. I'm going to probably play some more after we leave the studio. I enjoy it. I like it. It's fun. People should buy video games, play video games to have fun, right? I know with some reviewers, it's their job to talk about video games and really critique video games for gaming critics. But for us average Joes that don't do all that, and actually, because we kind of do talk about games here at K.L.P Entertainment, but I also play for fun, right? And we're missing that aspect of playing a game for fun. But I like it. I really do like it. Bad news on gaming though, and I don't want to contradict ourselves a little bit, but I was a little bit upset to find out that Black Myth Wukong has been, I don't know if it's been delayed, but guys, that game is coming out summer of 2024. Okay. So Black Myth Wukong, and I got my laptop right here. We're gonna Google this real quick because that's another game to which I was very excited about, if I can spell. So Black Myth Wukong is an upcoming action role-playing game by Chinese indie developer Game Science, based on the classical 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. Now, of course, it's about the Monkey King, and he's going west, right? He's exploring. He's going west. This game got announced, I want to say in 2019, right? Maybe 2018. Like we've heard about this game so long, right? And there's been gameplay, which gameplay is awesome. Um, Single player, and now it is getting targeted for summer of 2024. I want to say that this game has been delayed twice, in my opinion, because it got announced in 2018, 19, one of them years. I can't really remember. Um, and at first we thought it was coming out in 2020, but COVID. So any game that was supposed to be coming out in 2020 and got delayed, I'm not gonna fault it because COVID, right? COVID screwed everybody up, even us. K.L.P Entertainment got screwed up in 2020. So I'm not gonna blame game developers, creators, and studios to delay their games if they had a game come out in 2020 and they had to delay it because of COVID. I'm not mad at that. But pushback 2022. I said, okay, I can wait a year, right? Because I got my PlayStation 5 in 2021. 2022, Black Myth Wukong. Up, delayed. We're hearing 2023. And I said, okay, sure. You need more time. You need more time. Every game is not. I would prefer developers to push back a game by either months or a year to perfect the game, right? Because and gaming developers know this. They're in a society where you can't really afford to do half-baked games, right? You can't develop a half-baked game and expect us to pay $70 for it. No, especially with these deluxe editions. Guys, I'm seeing it on PlayStation 5. These deluxe editions are looking like 89. I know Hogwarts Legacy was 99 for a deluxe version. I'm like, yeah, nah, not for that. Nah, I'll stick to my 70. So you you can't expect games to be half baked and expect us to pay $70 because that's now gaming is premium. Whether we like it or not, gaming is premium. It used to not always be like that. I remember buying a game for $30. I remember when this game systems weren't $200, it was like 170 odd, some 170 odd dollars. I think my parents, for when they got us the GameCube, and this was 2004 or 5, they spent 200 on this console. So I mean, yes, but now that you've got PlayStation 5 to be $500, unless you found it from a scalper, they're gonna charge you $1,000, right? The PlayStation VR2 just came out or getting ready to come out. That's $600 right there. Definitely not getting that, by the way, because I'm not about to pay $600 for a virtual reality headset. Honestly, not trying to get off topic, T, but honestly, if I wanted to spend money on a headset, I would just go and get a Meta Oculus for 300. I wouldn't pay 600 for a PlayStation VR2. That's they're insane. But and some people are going to play it just to review. As average Joes, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to spend that much. But anyway, back to the point there, T. Gaming is premium. It's scary how gaming is premium, right? Because you got these expensive consoles. The games are expensive. It's $70 a pop for a brand new video game. It is. So that's why a lot of gamers, a lot of game reviewers and critics were very skeptical about which game we pick up because that is $70. So to that point, I'm like, okay, maybe they need Black Myth Wukong needs more time, right? I would give it more time. Seeing this weird, and I just thought it was weird, this weird animated trailer for Black Myth Wukong just to give us an idea of when this game coming, because these are speculations, by the way. It wasn't confirmed. So it was confirmed for 2022 at first. That I saw sources that was confirmed from 2022. But then we didn't really know. It was unconfirmed with 2023. It's been confirmed by this weird animated trailer that they did summer of 2024. And here's why I'm kind of upset about that. Not really, but kind of. Because that game is highly anticipated. Summer 2023 ain't here yet. Right? We're in the spring of 2023. So you meaning to tell us we have to wait over 1 year for this game and we still don't have an actual month or date for 2024 of when this game is going to come out. So it's been delayed a lot, in my opinion. And gaming is in that curse where if a game gets delayed too many times, people start to stop losing interest, right? Because if you can't figure, and I don't blame game developers that much, I really don't. But if you can't figure it out and you're delaying it so many times, then a lot of people in the gaming community would say, okay, is this game going to be worth it? Because it's been delayed so many times. So something is going on at Game Science that they're not telling us about, right? Um, I think they probably, and game developers do this a lot, and it's I ain't blaming them too much because but they do this where they overhype a project, right? When you overhype a project and you're having problems, that expectation is high, the interest is high. But when you overhype and oversell, quote unquote, and then you keep delaying it, then we start to lose that interest, right? So when the game does come out, we say, okay, it's been delayed so many times, so I kind of forgot about it, right? And it's a weird market that they're putting themselves in because it's summer 2024, right? So my predictions, guys, people are going to be playing Spider-Man 2, right? Wolverine is scheduled to come out in 2024, right? There's a whole bunch of PlayStation, and then this is not like a PlayStation exclusive, but there's a whole bunch of games that are big title games are coming out in 2024. I feel like they kind of put themselves in a bad market there because you got all these good games like Wolverine is going to be a seller, right? Who knows if Nintendo's developing a new Mario game, right? Now you're in competition with the big boys, the big players. It's the same thing with Starfield, right? Remember Microsoft Starfield? They hyped it. Everybody was so excited. Delay, 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 delay. People are losing that interest, right? So like I say, I'm very like I'm not a game developer, right? I'm a film developer. Hey, I don't think I would ever make a video game because that stuff, hey, they do a lot. I'm gonna stick to filmmaking, but never overhype your product. And that's what I feel like Game Science might have done with Black Myth Wukong. I'm still going to buy the game in 2024 regardless. But I was a little bit upset because I was hoping that we were going to see this game at the Game Awards. Not Game Awards, E3. Is what I was hoping this year, that they were going to announce Black Myth Wukong coming holiday 2023 at E3. That was my whole plan. That's something that I was really looking forward about. But we saw this weird animated trailer, summer 2024. So that means we have to wait, right? Like I say, they put it because you've got what I say. Spider-Man 2 comes out possibly holiday. Well, scheduled holiday 2023, but could be November, could be December. People from November to December, maybe to about March, people are still playing Spider-Man, right? Wolverine probably will hit spring, summer 2024. Kind of. We don't really know quite just yet. Wolverine. Final Fantasy. I'm not sure if Rebirth comes out this year or next year, but one of them 2 years, right? There's a lot of other games that people are going to be focused on. And they kind of put themselves in a sticky situation with that. I was very, very sad to hear about that, but I guess it is what it is, and well, time can tell. I hope Game Science can pull this game off really well. I'm still gonna buy it. I mean, when summer 2024 comes back around, I'm playing all the other games. I'm kind of gonna forget about it until it's out and be like, oh yeah, I remember this game. Let me go ahead and swipe this up real quick and play it. So we'll see. We'll see. So, of course, we got Addison Hayden here in the studio. Hey, Addison, I see you. Getting ready to talk about our hip-hop news. Addison, what we got today?
Snoop Dogg has come under fire after a small-town grocery store selling his wine displayed what some customers deemed offensive promo materials during Black History Month. According to WSB-TV Channel 2, patrons at a Kroger on Peachtree Parkway in Peachtree City, Georgia were greeted by a life-size cutout of Snoop showcasing his wine brand 19 Crimes. The promotion was accompanied by bottles of bubbly from THA Dogfather's label along with Black Girl Magic wine, nearby in the produce section. but it was a bulletin board placed adjacent to the display featuring phrases like "Dream like Martin" and "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud," that sent shoppers into a tizzy, claiming that the overall message was a slap in the face during Black History Month. "I just felt that it was offensive," Johnny Jones, a former president of the local NAACP, told the WSB-TV. "They really promoting alcohol. Proud of drinking wine. No? We're proud of the Tuskegee Airmen whose shoulders I stand on," he said, nodding the former commercial and military pilot. If he had it his way, Jones would have preferred the store recognize trailblazers like Atlanta's first black mayor, Maynard Jackson, or Ed Johnson, the first black mayor of Fayetteville. "We need to be thirsty for knowledge," he said. Another customer, Michael Drummond, added, "It's very negative." Meanwhile, other customers saw nothing wrong with the ad stating, "I didn't think there was anything wrong with showing a display of Snoop," Pam Lewis explained. "I mean, if you want to drink wine whether it's Black History Month or not, it shouldn't really make any difference." Following the backlash, managers of the store immediately pulled the promotion. "Kroger is committed to diversity, equity and inclusion in all we do. Our intentions are never meant to be offensive," Kroger's corporate officers said in a statement. Snoop's team have not responded to the complaints. In other news, Snoop was recently showered with love by longtime friend Martha Stewart, when she revealed she had taken their friendship to another level. Stewart took to Instagram on February 10 with a photo that appeared to show her getting a tattoo of Snoop on her upper left arm. The portrait included the words "My dog" underneath it. "My dog. Thanks for the amazing tattoo at Scott Campbell. Forever linked in ink to my favorite at Snoop Dogg," Stewart captioned her picture. At first, fans weren't sure whether or not the tattoo was permanent, but once the Super Bowl aired on the following Sunday, February 12, it was made clear it wasn't a real tattoo, and instead part of a Skechers ad.
Thank you so much, Addison, for the news. Addison Hayden, y'all give her a shout out. She's always doing some dope stuff as well. Speaking of what's kind of dope, y'all heard about them red boots? Everybody saw them red boots on social media. Everybody was rocking those red boots. A lot of famous celebrities was rocking it. One celebrity that I've noticed, speaking of New York, because she was in Brooklyn for the halftime, it was Coy Leray. I kept saying Coy Leroy, and my friends kept clowning me for that. I'm sorry, Coy Leray. I butchered your last name there, but she is a singer, hip hop artist. She sings a song, "Trying to Catch Another Flight." Na 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 na. I'm just trying to have a good night. Hey, so Coy Leray was rocking those red boots, and it's been said that it's been hard for people to get out of those red boots. I wouldn't buy those boots. They look cool. I mean, Joe Budden on his podcast, shout out Joe Budden podcast, Joe Budden Network. They don't know who we are, but Big Jersey. They talked about it, and they said, we're so immune to the internet, right? And it's true. Like, a lot of people saw these shoes on TikTok, and now it became viral. Everybody's buying these boots. Everybody's doing some social media type content with these boots. I can't wait until these boots come in different colors. And it will, regardless, right? We have red for now, right? I'm surprised Rihanna didn't wear a pair at the Super Bowl performance. Shout out to Riri. Her performance was really good for her being pregnant. But anyway, I'm surprised she didn't wear her red outfit, her Fenty outfit. I don't know. But I'm sure that these boots are going to come into different forms of colors. I'm saying, look, you got red. This is a viral thing, these boots. You need to get purple, blue, orange, green, yellow, gray, black, right? And brand marketing. NFL. NFL is probably going to, and they're probably working on it right now as we speak, where they want to customize these boots to their team colors, right? They might want to slap their team colors and their logo on these boots for fans to pick up and buy. It's the same thing with NBA. It might be the same thing with soccer, with soccer season that's coming, because soccer season starts this week, right? Atlanta United's getting ready to play at Mercedes, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if colleges pick these up. Now, that might be expensive brand marketing for that, but I wouldn't mind. Look, GGC, Georgia Gwinnett College, shout out to y'all because y'all got the alumni Event coming up March 15th. Yes, I will be there, by the way. I would buy a pair of boots if Georgia Gwinnett College, GGC, made a GGC version of these red boots. Green with the grizzly, general grizzly claw on it, right? I would buy me a pair because GGC has my heart. Shout out to GGC again, the alumni event, March 15th. I'm gonna share the flyer because I kind of forgot where is that a pizza joint in Lawrenceville? Y'all got to be there. I will be there. GDN might be there. Well, alumni will be there, so I'll be there. But to the point, I would buy a pair of these boots if GGC made these type of boots. Now I don't know if they ever will. It's good marketing, right? Because I would pick up a pair. But these boots, man, they're everywhere with these boots. Talking about these damn boots. So I said at the beginning of the show here today, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying the show thus far. We've had some good things to talk about. I want to give a shout out to a restaurant that we went to. I needed a shout out, and usually when it's a friend of mine's birthday, I like to give them shout outs. Now I know her birthday was now 2 days ago. But we had typically it's the whole weekend, right? So shout out to Jessica, happy birthday. Hopefully your birthday was special. I'm glad I was able to come celebrate with the squad. So again, Jess, happy birthday from all of us here at K.L.P Entertainment and the show here today. But we went to this restaurant, and with my squad, we always go to Korean barbecue. It's without a doubt we go to a Korean barbecue spot. Now we're trying to make it to where we don't go to that a lot, because back in the day, that's all we went to on an outing is going to a Korean barbecue spot. That's the only place we would go to. So we went to this spot called K-Pop. K-Pot. It's a Korean barbecue and hot pot place in Midtown Atlanta. Right in the heart of Atlanta too. There was traffic getting there too. Jesus. But it's a spot where you can go and you can get a choice of hot pot and Korean barbecue, or you can do both. So we did both. It's a hefty ticket, right? It's nice. It's one of those spots where it can be expensive, so you gotta have some money for this type of spot. But it's good because I got a hot pot. I got the Japanese miso soup, and of course I got chicken and fish and salmon and leaves and lettuce and onions, kimchi. And you don't put the kimchi in the pot unless you want to. But all the other foods that I mentioned, you put it in the pot and the pot cooks it, right? And it was very soothing because it was cold. So the drinking the soup was my thing. K-Pot is a great spot because it's a swanky spot, right? They have a bar, they got the restaurant, they've got so many good employees that work there too. The energy is so real. So it was just his birthday. And when we surprised her with dessert, so when you go to a spot and it's your birthday, they bring out a birthday cake and they sing happy birthday to you. It's very generic. It's kind of boring. But at K-Pot, they really went all out. They were loud, cheery, and they were so excited because it was just his birthday. Now we have quite a few friends that was in our circle that actually work at the restaurant, so we actually got kind of a deal. But they were just the energy was just so there. And that's just, I was telling, because I went with, so it's me, our friend Mussy, David, Jess, we met a new friend named Jenny, Kits, Chadwick, and Pat, right? So some of them work at the restaurant there. So of course they're prone to, hey, but the energy was so real when they were singing happy birthday, and I'm here for it. A lot of drinks were passed out to everybody. Sake, mimosa, I forgot the other drink, tea. So many things, so many foods. They had desserts. They had fried chicken, which I was shocked. They have they called it the sauce bar, where you pick up your sauces for your pot, your hot pot. And then they had like dessert options. They had fried chicken and fries as a side dish. So of course I was munching on that fried chicken. I love fried chicken. So I went to town. Got that bill. Ooh, that bill was high. It wasn't too high, but it was high. So shout out to K-Pot, Korean barbecue spot and hot pot in Midtown. You guys got to go. It's a great date spot. It's a great birthday spot. I enjoyed it. I think I ate a little bit too much because that yesterday I went to the gym and my gym session was a little bit hard to do because we're coming back from New York and we're eating, right, and we went to a big birthday dinner shindig. So overate for the past couple of weeks. So when I went to the gym yesterday, it was a little bit harder for me. But K-pop is an exciting thing. I recommend it for sure. So guys, check that out. Of course, we got Arthur Brooks up in the studio here today to give us our sports news. Arthur, what we got today, man?
During the 2016 draft, the one that saw the Cowboys take a flyer on a quarterback named Dakota in round 4. It worked out pretty well. But Dallas had a far different plan A. Jerry Jones and company coveted Paxton Lynch. They tried to trade up to get the Memphis quarterback, but the Broncos beat them to the punch, fortunately. Nearly 7 years later, Lynch is still trying to find his footing in pro football. He got the start in his XFL debut, with the Orlando Guardians. He didn't get the finish, however. Despite an opening drive that ended with a touchdown pass from Lynch to former NFL receiver Cody Latimer, things went the other way for Lynch. In the third quarter, down 21-6, Lynch was benched for Quentin Dormady. Lynch's 21st pass of the day was his last one, an interception. Dormady didn't do much better, throwing 2 picks while trying to dig the Guardians out of a hole that kept getting deeper. The Houston Roughnecks prevailed, 33-12. It's unclear whether Lynch will be back under center next weekend, when the Guardians play again. Despite his struggles, his perseverance is impressive. He has kept at it despite failures with the Broncos, the Steelers, the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the CFL, and the Michigan Panthers of the USFL.
Thank you, Arthur, for those news. Arthur Brooks, guys, he is covering the NCAA softball season. Of course, we've talked about Maryland and Oklahoma in the first video 2 days ago. So, guys, go to our YouTube channel or our radio stations because they're there as well. Listen or watch the special news topics we talk about with sports. NCAA softball season is here. We're going to be covering it base by base. Now, this last moment of today's show before we log off here for K.L.P Aftermath Season 5 is the show that came out 2021 that I kind of slept on, but I started watching this show as well because I have a billion other shows that I'm watching at the same time. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's hit show, Young Rock, is available. They got 3 seasons, and guys, this is not a Peacock sponsor, but dang, Peacock, if you want to sponsor us, please let us know because we would love to be sponsored. But Peacock is there, and of course, Young Rock is on Peacock. I'm watching this sitcom, and it's real brief. It's a brief sitcom story about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, how he became The Rock, and stories about his mother, his grandmother, Peter Maivia, and Rocky Johnson. So it's a whole story about the whole origin of the Johnson family, the tribe legacy, The Rock. It's a whole origin story of that, but with a twist of a sitcom as well, picked up by NBC. Guys, go check it out. Again, Young Rock, I'm watching it. I like it. I really like how funny it is. I like how some of the superstars, because I don't want to say, because it's a curse to say wrestlers. You never want to say wrestlers, just in case if WWE wants to hire me, I don't want them to hear that I said the word wrestlers because they're more than that, right? The superstars, I think it's interesting how they kind of, so with Andre the Giant, Iron Sheik, Rocky Johnson, they're kind of spot on with their lookalikes. But there are some scenes where Roddy Piper and Ric Flair characters, they don't look like them to me, right? I saw they did on social media, there was a sneak peek of, and I'm guessing this is in season 3. I haven't watched season 3 yet because I'm still on season 1. But there was an episode where The Rock was going toe-to-toe with Triple H. And the guy that plays Triple H does not look nothing like Triple H. So I thought it's funny. I don't know, maybe it's legal, right? Because they had to obviously consult WWE with this. And I'm sure WWE is getting a cut from this, obviously, because it's their property. So it's very interesting how they kind of replicate some of the superstars from actual WWE to this series. I think this is a funny thing too, because you got, Dwayne Johnson, he's playing himself, obviously. He's running for president in the year 2032, which that's obviously what I want to say, that's over 10 years from now. So maybe The Rock could run for president. There's been a whole joke about in 2024, like The Rock should run, or Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama should run for. Now that would be lit though. If Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama ran for president and vice president, that might be interesting. But Rock said it. Hey, that's in the show. He's not doing that, or maybe he could. I don't know. I don't know what The Rock's thinking. Excuse me, Dwayne Johnson is thinking. He's still The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, I'm a big fan. I get motivated with the workout, but I'm still going to call you The Rock. I knew you from The Rock first before Dwayne Johnson. Sorry, I'm a WWE fan. That's when I first heard of the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. So like I say, the series is funny, guys. It's on Peacock. Watch it. It's something good to watch. I think it's good. I think it's funny. I think it's a little bit over exaggerated in some things, right? But I guess because it had to be, because they labeled it as a sitcom, right? So if it's labeled as a sitcom, yes, it has to be over dramatic in some scenes for it to be a sitcom. So I always thought that was very interesting, but it is a show to watch on Peacock if you got it. Again, if you got it where you can add it to a subscription, I think it's worth it, because there's a lot of great shows on here for Peacock TV. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast show here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. We have a lot of things to talk about. Stay tuned, guys, of course, because this week we're going to be coming back with the Beyond Swanky podcast to talk about more juicy topics of conversations. I do want to thank everybody who tuned in for the show here today. And again, remember to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching the video version at K.L.P Entertainment, our subscriber count went up. It went up a lot, so thank you guys for that. And also, if you're listening to it on, again, Stitcher Podcast, Our Heard Radio, a big one for us, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Audacity, thank you. Share with your friends so that way they don't miss out on us as well. Until then, we're gonna wrap things up. K.L.P Aftermath Season 5 with your host K.L.P Kennedy Lucas. Again, as always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
You are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
And the other stations are tuned in too.
K.L.P Aftermath Swanky. With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.